Chad, it's lovely to see you here today at Collectomania. How have you been enjoying it?
Oh, it's been nothing but a love fest, you know. The people love the show, and it's just, real warm and fuzzy, so it's pretty cool.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, of course, so many people are such huge fans of The Walking Dead. What was it like being part of that show, being part of that family, as it were?
Yeah, a family is absolutely true, you know. So it's a very authentic group of people who genuinely are very passionate about the work and very funny and very intelligent people. Just, you're hanging with the cool kids.
What were your favorite kind of memories from it, your favorite scenes when you were shooting the show?
My favorite memories are obviously probably the darker moments of the show because I think that's when we were able to push the envelope, and tell stories like The Grove with Lizzie and Mika. We were able to pull that off, have people stay attached to the humanity as opposed to just the macabre nature of it or some kind of shock value. I thought we were able to do the same thing with my death scene. So, those two I think are the two I remember for somewhat selfish reasons as well, because I was in it. No, but it was amazing. It was amazing storytelling, though. I those shows are the times we took the most risk. So.
How aware were you of the comics, which obviously are very popular, and Tyreese is a very popular character in the comics as well, before you took on the part in the show?
I knew nothing about it. All I knew, there was this poster with a guy standing on something with a big gun. But my agents, they were excited when I was approached about it by Robert Kirkman, who was the creator of the graphic novel. Was very much interested in me playing the role because he saw me on the HBO series The Wire. And so after that, I did my homework, and then I was incredibly excited as well and wanted to be a part of this juggernaut.
And what did you kind of take from the comic books after you kind of say you did your homework, and what do you feel like you brought to Tyreese, the TV Tyreese?
I brought another level of complexity to Tyreese. He was much more torn about violence, and Daryl was not a part of the comic, so Daryl became Rick's right-hand man. So we had to do something different with Tyreese, and so I just thought I thought a much more multi-layered type of guy that people I think rooted for in a different way than they did in the comic.
How was it when you were, because you mentioned earlier, of course, your dying scenes. I mean, what was it like filming those? I mean, what kind of emotions were there? How was it like behind the scenes?
Well, it was incredibly intense, which I love. I mean, that's what I do. We run into the burning building of emotion where most people don't want to feel that stuff. Well, I'll feel it for you. So that was amazing, and it was amazing and challenging. Everybody knows emotional scenes are incredibly challenging, and probably 80% don't pull it off. So, but for me, it's like, let's go. Let's go there. And to have David Morrissey come back and was just, just an extra added cherry on top,
I mean, you mentioned like people like David Morrissey coming back. I mean, we had quite a few people coming back during those scenes, didn't we? I mean, do you think that's something that could happen in the future, maybe for Tyreese, for other characters?
I don't know that they're going to, they're always making sure to stay authentic with, or not overwork a storyline or a certain approach that they use in storytelling. So I think they'll probably find some kind of unique way for me to come back. I think that'd be interesting, but there's no guarantees.
I mean, of course, now we've also got the prequel show, haven't we? Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, what do you think about that, and how likely do you think we would be to see maybe Tyreese on that again as well?
No, there's no cross-pollination. This is the prequel, and they don't want to, if they compress time too much, then they bring us in the same world. So that world is going to take its time and unfold and tell itself, maybe around season 5 for them if they continue. They're going to take their time with it. They're going to ring it for everything it's worth. So they don't want to do that. They don't want to attach us too much. But I'm curious. I have no idea. This is the first kind of foray into a spinoff from the show. You know what happens sometimes in television history when you go with a spinoff. But I think there's room for it, and I think we got the right people helming it. So we'll see. I'm curious. I want to see what it's like too.
And of course, we always saw Tyreese with his hammer, didn't we? I mean, if you had to pick your weapon of choice for a zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
Well, don't ask a rhetorical question here. A hammer is an amazing piece of equipment that never fails you. As long as you can keep a hold on the thing and you got a pretty good swing, you don't have to be that strong. That's, amazing piece of steel. So I would stick with that or a knife,
Yeah, keep it old school.
Keep it pragmatic, Now,
of course, you've seen recently one of your former Walking Dead colleagues, John Bernthal, been cast in season 2 of Daredevil, Marvel's big superhero show. So I was wondering, would you be interested in a kind of superhero, supervillain show, whether it's one of those kind of dark and grittier ones like Daredevil or one of the lighter, kind of more comedic Marvel ones that there's out there? What would you think about that?
Well, I would think I would want to go. I like the dark, it's just you can go with so many different levels when you're dealing in that kind of area. So, we're working on our own deal called Treadwater. And if you go to treadwater.tv, you'll see what's going on. We're creating something new. And I have an amazing role to play in that. So check that out and see where we're trying to go.
Tell us a little bit more about Treadwater.
Well, Treadwater, it's a transmedia franchise, and we got the graphic novel that's really going to launch in comic book stores across the country in July. We're going to have a major push with that. We're developing a television show. It's a motion comic. It's an interactive web series. So, any way you want it, that's the way we're going to give it to you. And it's 15 years into the future. The euro has crashed. The world is dark and edgy. Every country for itself. So the government hires a private group that once the media gets wind of them, because they're this mysterious group of people, they're called Treadwater. But they're trying to keep the world safe from terrorism, a nuclear threat, and all sorts of things that are kind of emanating from what's going on in the world right now. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting.
I mean, how would you characterize it in terms of genre? If somebody asked you, where would it fit in terms of current TV shows or current comic books?
Well, it's dark like Batman. The storytelling is like Lost, where you have all these elaborate backstories, and then it has the whole terrorism and espionage of Homeland. So you got those kind of conventions, putting those kind of conventions together.
And tell us a little bit about your character in it.
Oh yeah, Mr. OC is he's a bad boy. He's an arms dealer, and he sells intel and he sells arms to the highest bidder. Very rich man, very business oriented, but if you cross him, you see a darker side. And he's lost a limb for a particular reason that you'll see later on. And he has this kind of robotic arm inside of this briefcase. So he places his hand in this briefcase, he can morph it into any type of weapon that he wants. So that's pretty kick-ass.
That is pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And whereabouts is it set, the show?
Oh, it's international.
Okay.
It's just as it should be. The world, where we are now. You're in the States, you're in Europe, you're in the Middle East. It could be anywhere because the threat could come from anywhere.
And you mentioned, of course, there's the graphic novels and the TV show as well. How's it going to work? Is it going to be, we're going to see the graphic novels first and then a TV show, or?
Yeah, we're going to use the graphic novel as the wedge. But, if we get more traction for the video game or we get more traction for the television show, each serves the other. The popularity of one is only going to increase and up the popularity level of another. So we're going to use the graphic novel as the wedge, though.
And just remind us again where people can find out more about it.
Oh, yeah, treadwater.tv or @Treadwater for Twitter and Instagram.
And is there anything else we can look forward to coming up from you, Chad?
Well, I have another show called The Expanse with Thomas Jane, and that's going to come out on the Sci-Fi Network in December. And yeah, it's a spaceship drama. We don't have one of those now, and that's like 150 years in the future, and we're on Mars and Earth and everywhere else in the stratosphere. So that's going to be an amazing show for sure.
And what's your character in that?
Fred Lucius Johnson is a commander, and he's find himself in between a rock and a hard place, working for the government, but that's problematic, and so he's got some things he's got to do that the government's not aware of what he's up to, but it's going to be pretty cool.
And where are we going to be able to see The Expanse?
The Expanse will be on the Sci-Fi Network starting in December.
Loads of good stuff coming up for you, Chad. Can't wait to see it all, and lots of luck with Treadwater as well. It sounds like an intriguing project.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing undertaking. We're excited about it, and the groundswell is happening now, and people are very, very inquisitive about it, and it's a bold leap. Not too many people are able to break through in all those genres, so that's what we're after.
Well, lots of luck with that. I look forward to finding out more in the future. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you, love. Thank you.